Now, very important, be aware of these Chinese people's communication habits. And this aspect was and still is a big hurdle for me personally. Smile in your face and speak shit behind your back. Hi everyone, my name is Aina. I have been living in China for 4 years, and today it is time to talk about weird and absolutely strange habits Chinese people have, and which of those habits changed me personally 180 degrees. Watch this video till the end and you'll be definitely surprised and equipped with the knowledge about Chinese people's habits, which I believe should be essential if you're planning to come to China or you plan to communicate with Chinese people. So basically this video is for everyone. Keep watching. When I first arrived to China in 2019, I arrived to Guangzhou, which is located in the southern part of China, and the first things that surprised me were dancing aunties. In every corner in the evening, you would see those aunties dancing together with loud music. Interestingly enough, I didn't see uncles dancing. What they usually did was Tai Chi or Qigong, and they would do this by themselves, and it was really amazing to see uncles to perform these strange activities all in the dark. And I always wanted to film them on my phone, but nobody was filming it, so I was like, that's gonna be weird. But Chinese people just don't even pay attention to those uncles performing these strange moves because it's something normal in China. And another thing that truly amazed me about China is sun protection. Yeah, of course, you probably already heard, they wear 300 layers of sunscreen. But another thing they also do is, for example, during the daytime, they basically try to sit indoors. They avoid any daytime activities. So that is why in the evening, specifically in the evening, you see 人山人海, people mountain, people sea, only, yeah, at night. And the second way they protect themselves against the sun is wearing special clothes that block UV rays, and I myself have those clothes, so yeah, thank you Chinese people. And the third way is of course an umbrella, and the specific one, the specific umbrella which blocks UV rays. So the question is, do Chinese people sunbathe at all? I come from Russia, and for all Russians the suntan means that you can afford to travel to exotic places, and that is why Russian people sunbathe until they get skin cancer. And if you go to Russia and you see, you look at the middle-aged population, you would usually notice that they look older than they actually are. So do Chinese people enjoy sunbathing? The short answer is no. Even on Hainan Island, the beach resorts, they're usually designed for the Russian type of tourists. But some people in China do sunbathe naked because they believe that by sunbathing they can improve their yang energy. And I mean yang, not yang. Yin yang. Yeah, so basically this habit of sunbathing is directly related to yin yang theory, which I talk about in my previous video. I'm not gonna repeat myself again, so go watch it if you still not sure what is yin yang energy and what is traditional Chinese medicine, and how Chinese people today also consciously or unconsciously follow traditional Chinese medicine. But not all Chinese habits go strictly in accordance with traditional Chinese medicine. No, there is Ying Chou. Ying Chou has no English equivalent, and it basically means gathering with potential business partners and drinking a lot of alcohol, specifically baijiu, the Chinese liquor. And it's not really a habit, but I just want to mention the fact that Chinese people drink way too much. There is even a word, 酒量, which basically means the capacity to drink. And if your capacity to drink is low, you're kind of considered to be a weak person. So basically something 丢脸, something not respectable. And so I come from Russia, so Chinese people certainly assume that, my capacity to drink is really high, which is not true. So yeah, stereotypes. But what really shocked me the most is the difference between the north and the south. In the south, people eat rice. In the north, people eat noodles. In the south, some people don't speak Mandarin. They speak some local dialect or Cantonese. And so a few days before coming to China in 2019, I learned a few words and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna practice those few words when I come here. And I came and I was talking to a Chinese person trying, to practice my broken Chinese. And basically he was like,
Are you speaking Mandarin right now? I don't understand you. I don't speak Mandarin. I speak Cantonese.
and I was like, we are in China, we are in China. How the hell you don't speak Chinese? You are Chinese. I basically didn't know the difference between Mandarin and Cantonese. I didn't know there were dialects, especially in the South. If you want to study Chinese, don't go to the South. Okay, because they have their own dialects, and the difference between dialects, between those different Chinese dialects, can be so big as if the difference between English and German or English and French. Just imagine this, kind of difference. So if you learn Mandarin, go to the north, because in the north at least people can understand you because their local dialect is not that different from Mandarin. I assume that because in the south the population historically was always bigger than in the north, so that is why they developed numerous of those different dialects. And until the implementation of Mandarin in modern China, I believe that when Mao Zedong gave his famous speech in 1949, the cheering crowd at that time even did not understand what he was saying. 你来自哪里呀? Where are you from? Coming from the same province, the same town, or the same village is a big deal for Chinese people, because you can even swiftly switch to your local dialect. Because switching to a dialect basically means switching to your own language, which your parents taught you since you were born. And Mandarin is a language that you learn at school. And some Chinese children who live in remote areas, they don't have a chance to go to school because they live very, very far away. And if they do have a chance, they sometimes even have to climb mountains. Instead of saying, how are you? Chinese people ask, 你吃了吗? Did you eat? But I have to mention that usually the elderly use this phrase. Now the younger generation no longer do that. You probably won't be very surprised if I tell you that Chinese people are big, big foodies. But what if I tell you that sometimes when Chinese people travel to another city, they simply travel for food? And this local food is usually called 特产. Even I started doing this. For example, when I go to a new city, I don't check out which museums to visit. I check out the restaurants which I can go to. And basically, my travel route only consists of those restaurants where I can try the delicious food. And by the way, if you have a Chinese companion and they then invite you to have dinner together, they will pay for that dinner. And then if you try to pay for the dinner yourself, they will start fighting over the bill.
Oh, no, let me laugh. You got last time. No, I brought you here. Okay, let me pay. You can't pay twice in a row. That's against the rules, okay? Wow, that was fast.
Even when I went out with my student, she paid for my dinner. when she went to the bathroom. Basically, she did this trick because I literally told her before having dinner that I was gonna pay for her dinner. But eventually, she out tricked me and yes, paid for the dinner while, going to the bathroom.
Hey guys, I think this gentleman here has already paid the bill, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel this charge. What? He did it half an hour ago? Oh, that's why he went to the bathroom. You snooze, you lose.
Now, very important, be aware of these Chinese people's communication habits. Chinese people are very Weiwan, which is translated as tactful, but in fact it just means indirect. One time I heard my Chinese friend saying this about Japanese people.
Japanese people smile in your face and speak shit behind your back.
And at that time I was like, are you better? Are you better? Chinese people are not better. Chinese people are on the same level of being indirect as the Japanese, or maybe just a little bit better, just a little bit.
Simply put, you have to look at the overall context to understand what the Chinese really want to say. China belongs to high context culture, so sometimes in China, yes means no.
When communicating with Chinese people, you literally have to read between the lines in order to understand what they are trying to convey. And this aspect was and still is a big hurdle for me personally, because I come from a low context culture. In my country, we speak directly. We speak super directly. You don't have to, do a lot of guesswork. So in Chinese culture, you have to understand those very subtle non-verbal language and the overall context. But at the same time, I'm saying this and I just remember that, I'm actually so used to people speaking indirectly that when I hear Westerners, speaking up their mind very, very freely, I experience a reverse culture shock. Another communication habit is giving mianzi. Mianzi means a face, and giving mianzi means respecting a person. So for example, when you're at a party and someone gives you to drink a shot of baijiu, the Chinese liquor, you, first of all, have to stand up. Then you have to hold this shot with 2 hands. You have to smile. And you have to thank your counterpart for giving this amazing shot of baijiu. Because otherwise you disrespect a person. The scariest thing for Chinese people is dialects, which means losing face. In which circumstances do you lose face? Of course, in social circumstances. Because Chinese society is a collectivistic society which was heavily influenced by Confucian principles. I feel like I mention Confucius in literally my every video. In collectivist society, the interests of the crowd are placed over the interests of an individual. That is why in China, people try to conform to the society norms and act like others to be accepted by others. Another habit which is truly Chinese is gardening. And because of this habit, China now is very green, which I talk about in my previous video about pros and cons of living in China. Go check it out. I remember sometimes I would walk at like 5 or 6 a.m. Don't ask me why I walk so early. And I would see gardeners already working, and planting, wearing those, interesting hats. And I believe that 90% of Chinese elderly people dream of their own garden. The desire to have a garden is simply in Chinese DNA. And one of the most respected heroes in Chinese history is Shenong, the divine farmer. He was believed to live 5,000 years ago and to be an ancestor of modern Chinese. In Chinese mythology, Shennong tried all plants on earth and defined which plants are edible, which plants are poisonous, and which ones can be used in medicine. He taught humans how to use plow and basic agriculture. When in 2021 the Chinese lander portion successfully touched down on Mars, the most popular comment was, "Can you plant cabbage on Mars?" You know, I come from Russia, and as a Russian, I love walking. Walking for no particular reason. And I believe also Germans share this love towards walking.
Wait, I thought it's gonna be a short walk.
But it is. Only 3 hours. Auf geht's.
Can you slow down, please?
But when you tell Chinese people, let's go for a walk, they truly don't understand why. Instead of walking, Chinese people, of course, prefer to sit or even to lay down in public places. When they know they have to get in huge lines, they take portable chairs with them. And when you search for queue in Chinese online store, you will only see those portable chairs in the search result. You know, Chinese people are extremely superstitious. For example, in the elevators, you will rarely see the numbers 4 and 14. It is explained by the fact that the number 4 sounds exactly like death in Chinese. And so that is why people try to avoid it. And you know, I would spend hours just talking about superstitions in China because there are numerous of them, but I believe it would be more interesting for you to learn that Chinese people are obsessed with feminine boys. So check out my previous video about it and see you there. Bye bye.